Hey, good morning out there. As you can see, Lucy moving around, so she is real. That's not a stuffed animal. Like, look, see? She hears me talking, she's gone. She doesn't like to be on TV or in the videos, you know? Okay. Uh, we got a few things to go over today. I know I talked about yesterday the decriminalization of adultery in New York City. That should make everybody, all the politicians in New York City, very happy. It's not a crime for them to go out and cheat on their wives now. You know, that's just wonderful. There's something going on that I'll get to later on in this video, not just with New York, but I don't think that's any important. That happened late yesterday, early yesterday. You see headlines on CNN and YouTube and MSNBC, CBS, NBC, The Guardian, all these. You'll see a headline sooner or later, or a statement that says, "We all knew this was going to happen." Well, my question is, which deals with the stupidity of the people that are running this thing. If you knew it was going to happen, why did you let it happen? You could have prevented it. You could have done something, you know. And, you know, they blame it on the fact that Biden was the nominee and not Kamala. And I think that the problem is that they didn't think that through in the beginning when they nominated Joe. You know, they knew he was older. They knew they had to realize he was going to have cognitive problems sooner or later. And they shouldn't have elected him. They shouldn't have nominated him. And I don't think Kamala was the right choice either. I mean, at the time she was, because there wasn't time to have a primary and to sort things out. You know, so you took what you had. You know, this was based on the easiest thing because they thought she would inherit Biden's money, and she would inherit a lot of his supporters and votes. And that did happen in the beginning. There was a huge surge of her in the beginning. But then people started asking serious questions like, what are you going to do about housing? Well, Trump does the same thing. He says, we have a plan, but nobody sees the plan. Nobody saw any of a real in-depth discussion of her plans. You know, it's easy to say you're going to do something. It's a hell of a lot different to try and do it. Now, Trump's doing a lot of things right away, and everybody say, yeah, look, he said he was going to do this, he said he was going to do that. Well, look at the way he's going about it, and look what's going to happen, all right? When he starts to take away your unemployment and your Medicare and your Social Security and changes the tax laws so that the rich get richer and the poor get poorer, then we'll see what happens, you know? That's what you can only hope what happened to him is the same that happened to Marie Antoinette when she said, let them eat cake. Okay, moving right along. Now, you know Trump is a hustler. He's out there selling stuff all the time. He sold his cards, he sold, what else? He was selling a lot of junk on the internet. He sold watches that were worth a tenth of what they were selling them for. You know, he couldn't find an American company that would make the watch apparently, so he had to go overseas, and he thought it was going to be a cheap watch, and it wasn't that. It is a cheap watch, not an expensive watch. It's a cheap watch. And then what was the last thing he did was the guitar. And so the most famous guitar maker in the world, Gibson, said they were ripping him off, so they got a cease and desist order for Trump. That's going to be, you know, fun to watch, because that can be settled in court. That has nothing to. That's his business. He's got to divest himself of that. That's his money, by the way. That's not your money. That's not the Republican Party's money. That's his personal income deal. All right. Then you got to look at what's going on with the tariffs, this, that, and the other thing. He wants to start a trade war with the rest of the world, with the I don't know how to call it, what to call it, but China, Mexico. He's going to do it with Canada too. These are all countries where the companies set up business to avoid certain restrictions in the United States and to avoid the expensive labor market. Okay, so now we're going to have a trade war, one we can't possibly win. All right, we're not equipped to win it. We can compete in it, but we're not going to. There's not going to be any winner. There's going to be a lot of losers, though. All right. Most of what Trump is doing is classified as inflationary or recessionary. I classify it as recessionary. I think we're going to have more than a recession. I think we're going to have a depression. I think that's where Trump is headed. He can't. He proved last time that his economy, all his couldn't handle a outside problem like a pandemic. His economy was not equipped to rebound fast. It wasn't equipped to do anything. It just wasn't equipped to handle that pandemic, and that's why he lost the election the last time. You know, he could have won it had he pulled us out of that pandemic. They would have given him another 4 years. And I'm not so sure he'd be acting the way he is now. Now, you've got people that say, I read reports that say he's got about 2 years if he's lucky, before his cognitive powers go, and before he either dies or they institute the 25th Amendment and replace him and make J.D. Vance the president, which is just as bad because he believes he's morally correct about everything. You know, that's a whole different story. You know, you can be correct about issues because your opinion is something else, but when you go around and tell people that you have to live your life this way if you want to stay in the United States, well, that's a different story. You know, that's a horse of a different color, and I don't see that working out very well for him. You know, I don't think he'll be a 25th Amendment victim. I think he'll be a victim. You know, and I think that Elon and his I'm going to hurt you, you have to suffer. And as soon as he does that, there's going to be violence that America doesn't expect, that Trump doesn't expect. He thinks the military is going to be on his side because he's the president. They get to make decisions. You know, even if he changes all the generals like he wants to do, you change all the generals, there's going to be mass confusion. And the American military will not be able to stand up to anything. Let's see. You know, that's just a thought. What does this say now? Oh, they did. He signed the memorability of understanding that with the transition. You know, Trump signed that with the Biden administration for a transition. There's only one problem with that. It's a really big problem. Trump doesn't understand jack. Trump doesn't read anything. He has that's what he pays lawyers for and everything else. You know, so he doesn't understand anything, and he will pay no attention to that, I guarantee you. We'll have to wait and see how that works out, but I don't think it's going to work out. It's a symbolic thing rather than a practical application deal. All right, okay. So that took care of the issues that I had down here from yesterday. I'm going to start doing more videos during the day because some of the stuff I talk about, I forget what the issues were, and I'm assuming you do too, you know. So the printer's on. Why is it on? Okay. What else have I got in the store for my conversations for today? I believe that Trump's appointments, and I posted this on Facebook and Universe Mastodon Social and Mastodon Universidon, and I'm going to be on Blue Sky, or I think that's the name of this the new one that's taken over for Twitter. But anyhow, he does the things that he's doing to create chaos, and it's I don't think he believes what he's doing is right or wrong. I think he's doing it strictly for chaos. And right now, his mind is chaotic, so we don't know for sure what's going on. But the people that are around him are just greedy bastards. So America's going to be, the average American is going to be poverty level. That's going to be the average income level for Americans. You're going to have two levels, rich and poor. That's what Trump wants. That's what he's going to get. He wants to take away all the rights of women that women fought for, marched for, died for, struggled for. He wants to remove them all. You have people in his cabinets that don't think women should have the right to vote. They consider women a subspecies, unequal to a man. I gotta tell you something. You gotta meet a Latin woman someday, okay? You'll see what's going on there. But that's what Trump's doing, and his appointments are designed to look over here while I'm picking your pocket over here. And it took a long time. Part of the problems that Biden had at the end, and he never said this, and they never wanted to look at it. But because he was running for re-election, he was being very careful on how he opposed things, taxes and things like that. He wanted the economy. He did what he thought the economy was going to respond to, and it didn't. And because they're still suffering from the pandemic. Now, nothing Trump's going to do is going to shoot the economy up unless you happen to be a millionaire. Then you're liable to become a billionaire. Okay, you're going to get richer. If you're an average Joe working, an average job, or you own a small business, you're fucked. Okay, that's it. You're first of all, small business owners, landscapers, cleaning services, construction. There's a lot more businesses that I just can't come up with right away. But construction, small business owners, landscaping, what have you, are going to suffer wage increases because let me take my business that I'm familiar with, which was a cleaning service for houses and offices and whatnot. I give a bid based upon an $8 an hour wage, okay, that I'm paying other people. And what's going to happen is that $8 an hour wage is going to go to somewhere near $15 an hour. So nobody's going to clean a house for $90 anymore, all right? A 2-bedroom or 3-bedroom house for $90. They're depending on the floors. We did it by floor space, not by rooms. Because where I lived, a 2-bedroom and a 1-bedroom apartment had the same floor space, floor design. They just shifted things around a little bit, but it occupied the same square footage. So for me to charge more than $90 or whatever I was charging the person at the time, I don't think I charged $90 for that apartment my size. But that was a home. You're going to be paying a lot more money. So the average person can't afford that anymore. It's like dog walkers, okay? dog walkers down here, the dog walkers aren't Colombian citizens. They're Venezuelan, for the most part. Nobody wants that job. Okay, in New York City, they want it because the clientele you have, you pay a fortune. But you take a community like mine, right here, and put that in the United States, which is an average small town, where everybody works, both people work, and that here they work 6 days a week, so they have a dog walker for at least 5 days. They're not going to be able to afford it up there. All right, that's going to be a profession that's seriously regulated, and it's going to cause a problem. And don't get well, Trump hates animals, especially dogs. Okay, because dogs hate him. First of all, he smells like shit. And they don't like the smell of human shit. Secondly, he's a bad person, and dogs don't like bad people. And I mean, that's it. That's the way they are. You can trust a dog to be a judgment of other people. Well, look. Like I said, if I read something later on this afternoon, I have a lot of things to do today. But if I see something popping in my head, instead of writing it down and talking about it tomorrow, I'm going to talk about it tonight. So we'll have less time to talk about other things tomorrow. But tomorrow we could talk about the football game instead. All right? So listen, take care. Please subscribe to the channel below. I'm not looking to make money. I'm looking to get, I call it points, favorable points with YouTube. Okay? Everybody take care.